Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I have got my week 34 of 2025 planned with me, and this is on the incorrect week because I put week 33 over here on week 34. Such is life. I did already go ahead and lay down some Nightmare Before Christmas themed washi tape because this is the week of my birthday, August 24th. So being that Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite, I usually tend to do either like a Nightmare Before Christmas or like a Harry Potter or a Beetlejuice or a Hocus Pocus themed thread, just because it's one of my favorites. And then, of course, I'm going to start with my sidebar and my large items. So here's the menu for this week. And then, oh man, I should have reminded myself not to push this sticker down all the way. Let's see if it will peel up for me. At least enough to get this right about there, I think is good. And again, I do not mind if it covers up the date because this is a memory keeping planner. And then of course I'm going to start with my to-do list boxes. And on this one, I did use not necessarily a kit. I used one of my Nightmare Before Christmas sticker books. So a majority of these stickers came out of here, except of course for like the icon stickers, because those come from all different places. We also have a to-do list box here on Wednesday, and of course on Thursday. And then Saturday and Sunday as well. And so in this particular sticker book, I will note that there was not a ton of like square boxes or rectangle boxes. A lot of them were very much curved like this. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm not necessarily upset with it. But it is a little bit different than what I am used to doing. So now I'm going to split this in half and I will get started on Monday. Of course, we are going to start off with reading for the day. There we go. And then I chose little check marks for reading markage this week. There we go. And then the next thing I'm gonna mark is going to be that I watched Smile. Stay. Okay, so I'll put it right about here. And I will put the little icon there. And then I will write watched Smile. And then after that, I am going to mark that I went swimming, little swimming icon, right, swimming, and then I did have, there it is, I did have some hot tea this day as well. I will put hot tea here. And I feel like it just depends on the day. Sometimes like I'll have multiple glasses of tea, sometimes I'll have none. So it just varies. I also, in combination with my swimming, I did go for a walk. I'm gonna try and make sure that I have enough space, and I walked 1.81 miles. And then I did also do a really long soak this day. Hopefully this still fits. That's fine. I'll put the little bathtub here. And then this was an Epsom salt soak. I've definitely been needing a lot more of those here recently, just between working out and now having this back injury. I've just had to make sure that I'm doing what I can for the body. And then I have my little check mark. And then for this day, I read an hour and a half. Read 1.5 hours. And then the next thing that I'm going to mark, there's a couple of big items on this particular day, which is why this week just ended up being very, very chaotic. Let me grab my little bills thingy majiggy. Okay. My hands are pretty much always shaking. At least I feel like they are always shaking now. I did go on a 3-mile hike earlier today, so maybe I just need some more water. Okay, I will write bills and budgeting. And then the next item I'm gonna put on here is my son had martial arts this day. There we go, the little car. And I will write son martial arts. Perfect. And after that, I am gonna go ahead and mark down that I did have some planning time. Oh, that's not gonna work. You know what? Yes, as I stated, that is not going to work. I'm gonna have to move this one down quite a bit. And that is totally fine. Okay, and then I will just write planning time. And then from here, it basically gets crazy. We're on Tuesday, right? Yeah. Okay, I have one last thing to add before I add the last 2 items. I'm gonna put this one right about there, and then I'll put the little TV, and then I watched a crime documentary. And then we had plans to eat with our friends this day, so I'm going to add this right about here. And then I'm going to put this little icon here. And I'm just going to write, oh, not with that thick part. Dinner with friends. And I totally wrote on their faces, but like, that's okay. And that was basically supposed to be our night. But unfortunately, my daughter dislocated her knee. So we ended up in the emergency room. And I'm just going to write ER visit. And as I'm sure you all can imagine, that was about 6 hours of my life. But she is on the mend and feeling much better now, and we have her in physical therapy and all of those wonderful things. Okay, so first on Wednesday, I'm going to mark my reading, and I read for 1 hour, and we have a little checkbox or check mark, and I'm stealing a check mark from a different day. Make it make sense. Stay. I don't need that. Okay. Because I do care about the way that the check mark is positioned, I'm using the tongs. Read, sorry. Nets, 1 hour. Ugh, I'm so glad that we are hitting fall so that the gnats can just be gone. Having multiple pets and hoping and praying that they don't come in the house definitely doesn't work at all whatsoever. The next thing I'm gonna mark for Wednesday is that my daughter was home from school. So after the knee dislocation, they had her stay home for 2 days. And then we followed up with her orthopedic doctor, and then they prescribed physical therapy. Sometimes when you have to remember that much information at once, it helps if I write that my daughter was home, and I'm just gonna write healing. That was definitely an experience. I don't think, of course, she definitely doesn't ever want to do that again. So hopefully we are making some progress in physical therapy. She's like, very much no. I would rather never do this ever again. I'm like, look, I get that. Let's focus on physical therapy, strengthening those muscles, all those wonderful things. But she is doing good now. She hasn't used much of the pain meds that they gave her or prescribed her either. So I think she's feeling much, much better. And then, my son did have martial arts this day. Martial arts. And then after that, I'm gonna log my YouTube video for this day. Lovely Wednesdays. And then, of course, I will write YouTube video. And then after that, I'm going to put this one here. How about right here instead? And then I'm gonna put this little icon here. And this is it's called the She's Unstoppable. Unstoppable Summit. And that was like a class that I took. And then, of course, we did have to run and pick up prescriptions. See, here we go. And I will fit that in right here. And then I'm just gonna write prescriptions. 10 out of 10. We do not recommend the dislocating of the knee. That brings us over to Thursday though, and then I will start with my reading as usual. I always like to do reading first just to knock it out of the way. And then it just kind of gives, I guess, maybe like some semblance of like a cohesive pattern, kind of. I feel like it sounds ridiculous when I say something like that out loud, but it's all right. Okay, I'll put my little check mark here. I read for another hour Thursday. And then after that was my elbow. I'm going to mark that my daughter was home from school again this day. It's definitely time to do my nails because I have a couple of broken ones. Just because doing too much. And then I'm gonna write daughter home again. But I'm just gonna write daughter home because that's all I have space for. And then we had multiple appointments this day. Both were for my daughter. And then I'll go ahead and put the second appointment on there as well. There we go. And then I'm gonna add this one down here. And hey, look, it looks like everything's gonna fit nicely this time. And then this was, again, the She's Unstoppable Summit. And then the last item is I had a workout with my friends. With friends. There we go. Okay, and that takes care of Thursday. So now moving on to Friday. And then for my reading, I did an hour and a half this day. And then, okay, I'm gonna start with this one down here. And then I'm also going to add this other large box here. Okay, and then I will add everything else. Just to help me get my spacing looking a little less crazy. Okay, this one was, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and mark the She's Unstoppable Summit real quick. And I'll put this icon over here. There we go. And then the next item that I want to mark, ow, goodness, how many times am I gonna hit my elbow today? Apparently a couple is the answer. I'm gonna mark that I had tea this day. Hot tea, perfect. And then I'm also going to mark down next that I did my nails this day. I'll move that down just a hair. And then I will write manicure. I'm gonna try to do a manicure later today, but we'll see if that works out. Okay, and then next I've got my menu planning. There we go. I will write menu planning. What do you guys put on your menus? For this week, I'll go back and read that in just a second, but I find that, like, typically I kind of put my stuff in rotation, and that's just what we have. So this one is for my YouTube video. No, I totally lie. This is Friday. What am I putting here? Ah, hello, Diablo 4. I'm tripping. My brain saw the little laptop and went into autopilot, and I was like, wait, I know what that is. Okay, and then here I'm going to put the little, like, roll thing. So on this particular day, me and my daughter watched a movie with my daughter. And I realized that the text just looks weird. I was trying to keep the character in there, but then at the last second decided not to. And it's already written. So it is what it is. Okay, and then I've got my reading for Saturday. And then where's my little checkbox? That's good. I read for 2 hours on Saturday. And then the first item that I've got is I did a 5-mile hike. Whoops, that's all right. I'm just gonna do 5-mile hike. And if I'm being super honest, I don't even remember how long it took us to hike 5 miles, but it was a good time. I love hiking. Wholeheartedly 10 out of 10. I realize that my entire family does not necessarily enjoy the hiking, which is totally okay. After that, I am going to mark my YouTube video. As much as I love some of these really small icons for, like, convenience, sometimes they drive me nuts. YouTube video. And then I also want to this is gonna be like my last box. these two as well. Oh, I lied. There's... well, yeah, these two. Oh, because I'm putting two in this box. That makes sense. Okay, so I will put... I don't know why that's there. I'm gonna put date night here. And then I am going to put this one here. And then I'm gonna put this one here. And then I'm gonna put this one here. Okay, so this one, me and my husband went on a shopping date. And then this was when I started my vitamins. So I did my vitamin prep. I have this really awesome little container now. When I first started taking vitamins and supplements to help my body with like healing and keeping up with all the things I'm doing, I had them like sorted into little bags, and I would take them all at once. Now I have them broken down into like morning, midday, and evening meds or supplements, and that helps me, like, because there's like one or two that I'm supposed to take on an empty stomach. The rest of them I take with food, and some of them are better to take at the end of the day to help with like getting really good sleep. So I started doing that, and it has made loads of difference. Although in the beginning there, I was overdosing on zinc, and that makes my stomach hurt so bad. Like, it makes me want to vomit. So I stopped doing that. And then after that, I did another Epsom salt soak. And then I also did a face mask. And usually I'll do, like, if I'm gonna do a sheet mask, like, I just do that while I'm in the bathtub and then take it off and whatnot. And I won't lie, it has worked out swimmingly for me. Okay, now we are on to Sunday. And I just realized that every single day this week, I started on the left side. I don't think I've ever done that before. Usually I try to rotate so that way it's alternating, but apparently not today. Not today, you guys. But again, no biggie there. The spread still looks great. Okay, and on Sunday I read for 1 hour. My handwriting just got super sloppy. It's okay. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this one down here at the bottom. And then I'm going to put okay, I don't know where exactly I want this. I feel like that looks great, but also there are other things I'm supposed to put in here. Okay, give me a moment to work this out in my brain. Okay, I'll put this one here. Sometimes spacing can be a real pain. And then maybe I can put this one. I'll flip it this way. Yeah, I think we'll have to survive like that. Okay. So the first one I will mark is definitely going to be work out with my friends. Okay, work out with friends. And then the next one I am going to put is that I went on a 2-mile walk. And I will put that right there. And I will put down a 2-mile walk, which I did with my stepmadre, and that was painful because they live like in like hill country, and that's an experience. Okay, and then here I will mark grocery shopping. That almost didn't fit. Okay, and then of course Sunday was my birthday, the 24th, so we spent the entire day with my parents. Day with parents. And I do also have this little celebrate, because this was not just the celebration of my birthday. This was also for like my dad, because his birthday is the 26th of August. And then my brother Colby, his birthday is on the, I want to say the 30th. Correct me if I'm wrong. Family, you know, I'm forgetful. So we did spend the day with them, and we, you know, we all exchanged gifts and all those wonderful things, and it was super fun. And my parents cooked a bunch of food, and it was fabulous. So that is the entire week 34 that I've got for you guys. And of course, I'm going to mark it up here that this is week 34, in case I somehow manage to forget. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you guys have on your menu plan for next week. For this week, it was ribs. Of course, Tuesday we ate with friends. Wednesday we had pasta. Thursday we had creamy chicken and rice with broccoli. And then Friday we had ramen. Saturday we had grilled sausages. And then Sunday we had leftovers. Again, thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks. Bye.